for the pledge and invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials. Grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all Americans, Armada citizens. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call.
Nickel?
Here.
Getzinger?
Here.
Job?
Here.
Crutchy?
Here.
Swacky here.
Approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve September 17th regular meeting minutes and October 2nd election commission meeting minutes as presented.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is set the agenda and amendments.
I don't have any changes. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Public comments. Each person will be given 3 minutes to speak. Please put your name and address on the paper prior to speaking. Anyone to speak? Oh.
Name and address on what?
That.
It's coming.
Oh, here's one, Mary, if you need it.
But go ahead and, yeah, please.
Prior to speaking. Okay, this isn't cutting into my 3 minutes, is it? Okay.
Do we need their address? Did we decide?
They're written down.
I will be as fast as I can, I promise. Okay. I'm prepared a statement so I don't forget anything. Good evening, Armada Township. I'm Andrew Eberly, here with my sons, proud to make Armada Tigers. We're proud to be a part of this community. We're here to make the community aware of something important that's happening across the state regarding schools. This has affected my family and the community directly already. I present to you my sons. Reuben is in 10th grade and Benjamin is in 9th grade at Armada High School. Fine young men. Reuben was enrolled last year as a 9th grader and he started off very well. He represented the cross-country team, good grades, perfect attendance. But over a paperwork dispute, the school removed him last November. We have evidence that suggests the school broke the law in doing this, and I have submitted to y'all the documents, the same documents I submitted to the school board showing that from the experts. The superintendent has declared that the school did the right thing last year and they will do the same thing this year to remove both of my sons after October 31st. This was after I submitted those documents showing that that is against the law. I questioned Mr. Musry if he read the new analysis I submitted before he said that that was the right thing. He didn't directly answer me. Think of it. Removing healthy, well-behaved, contributing members to the student body over a paperwork dispute, is that the right thing to do? Both boys are facing a removal soon unless my wife and I violate our deeply held convictions. We're being forced to register at the health department if we want to enroll our children in school. We do not trust the health department after lockdowns, mask mandates, and a pressure to fire people for not getting an experimental vaccine. But please do not think this is about vaccines. This is about the health department claiming authority that it does not have over the education of Michigan children. Think of that. All we want is to mind our own business while maintaining our privacy against an agency we do not trust. I ask everyone this message reaches to please dig into the issue before forming an opinion. Does the health department get to decide who can or cannot attend school? This is not just a paperwork dispute. It's our future, and it hurts to see my boys caught in the middle. We are not trying to be unreasonable, just trying to live our convictions and mind our own business. Schools exist to help students, not remove them over paperwork. Because this is such a rich issue with so much information, we've posted it on a website, letthemlearnmi.net. let them learn mi.net. We are not asking for money. We are just asking for awareness because this is affecting families across the state. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Okay, I am here. My name is Patricia Fons, and I have brought this up 3 years ago to the board about the Boo Boo's Boneyard across the street. They are still in operation. They're still short of 3 zoning ordinances. One is 25 feet short on frontage. 2 is for the side yards for the dog runs need to be 200 feet from property lines. And the third one is the barn that they're working out of needs to be 100 feet from the property line, and it is only 40 feet. I was talking to Chris, the supervisor, / code enforcer about this, and last month, and on the 24th, matter of fact, and I felt you were very rude to me. You told me that basically it was none of my business that I live in a different township. I live within 300 feet of their property. I live right across the street. I am the one that brought this complaint to you guys. You guys went to court 4 times with this issue and won each time. I have the dates here. The judge signed an order on 1/8/24, another one on 7/31/24, another one on 9/11/24, and then the Supreme Court turned them down again on 1/31/25. All of them have said to cease and desist this business in 30 days. I talked to Monica Job during the summer in July, and she told me you guys voted in the spring to send them a cease and desist letter. They have never ceased and desist. Okay? And the problem is not just all the traffic that they have coming in here and the zoning problems. The problem is that if this gets approved, the kennel license will stay with the property. Your planning board told them they could have up to 60 dogs. So that means, would you like 60 dogs being next to your property, barking from 8 a.m. in the morning to 9 o'clock at night in a traditional dog run? I can't see anybody wanting that next to their immediate house. This is a problem, and I think you guys need to be dealing with this, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Will you give us an update on that when we get to
Yeah.
reports? Okay.
Sure.
Hi guys, Jay Berger, Armada Township. I first wanted to convey my support for the Eberly family and encourage everyone to check out their video that efficiently describes what they're going through. But my purpose for coming up here today was just to remind you guys that there was just a follow-up on board-approved action. I've been meaning to get on the agenda and talk to you guys about it, but I feel like this is probably enough to get that ball rolling again. The board approved the action to add the definitions previously to the ordinance of livestock and domestic animals. The board voted and approved that. That hasn't happened yet. I think at the time there was some conflict with the attorney, and the attorney kind of implied that I was asking for it to be done one specific way that was not allowed. But that's not what I asked, and that's not what you guys voted on. I asked for it to be implemented in whatever way possible, and I think someone took the narrow approach to restrict that from happening, saying that it couldn't happen that way, even though it was approved by the board to do so. So I was just hoping that you guys could dig into that and pick that back up and get that done. And if you guys need to, I can reach out to you guys and try to make sure that that's rolling, or give you that information back or resubmit that information for you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It might be worth sharing with our new attorney just to get an opinion on that, on
Yeah, absolutely,
definitions
yes.
and
Yep.
ordinance changes.
Yep, I wrote it down. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Okay. Moving on to Fire Department Life Rescue Award presentation. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. On September 19th, 2025, a notification of a single vehicle rollover accident with entrapment was received by the Armada Township Fire Department. A fire engine and advanced life support ambulance arrived to find a vehicle with catastrophic structural damage and a single critical patient entrapped within the wreckage. The crews demonstrated exceptional teamwork and skill by stabilizing the vehicle and executing a rapid and flawless removal of the occupant using the jaws of life. Remarkably, this was accomplished within 5 minutes of arrival, and within 10 minutes of arriving on scene, the patient was on his way to a nearby hospital. Evaluation by the paramedics during transport revealed that broken ribs had punctured the patient's lungs, causing air leakage into the chest cavity. This injury is called a tension pneumothorax and is, by itself, life-threatening, but combined with other traumatic injuries is often fatal. A large needle was inserted into the chest, allowing the pressurized air to escape and reversing the patient's deterioration almost immediately. As a direct result of their conspicuous initiative, professional capabilities, and attention to duty, this patient was stabilized, treated, and transported to a medical facility for prompt surgical intervention and is currently recovering. I would like to commend the actions of the following individuals: Paramedic Thomas Kuhn, Paramedic Lieutenant Colin Minnie, Paramedic Firefighters Brandon Heath and David Geisler, Firefighter EMT Matthew Offner. Please accept this life-saving rescue award in recognition of the outstanding manner in which you performed your duties that day. Your actions speak well of each of you personally and professionally, and the caliber of service the Armada Township Fire Department provides to the residents and visitors of our community. Well done, gentlemen.
Yay. Very good.
Thank you, board members.
That's amazing. That is just amazing.
Next is bills.
That's a big cut amount.
Any questions on the bills? If not, I'll make a motion to approve the bills as presented.
I'll support.
Roll call vote.
Nickel?
Yes.
Sweig, yes. Job?
Yes.
Getzinger?
Yes.
Cratchit?
Yes. Reports. Aaron?
I'm Erin Tyrell, the director of the Senior Center. I want to start by expressing my heartfelt thanks to our wonderful community for your generous donations. A special thank you goes out to the Patrick family for their generous contributions over the past few months. Your support truly makes a difference for all of us here at the center. September was a highly successful month for the Armada Senior Center. We introduced 8 brand new classes and groups, and I'm excited to share that all of them will be returning monthly going forward. 8 new classes or groups were introduced in September. Each of these programs have committed to returning on a monthly basis, ensuring ongoing engagement and variety for participants. There's the gardening group, grief support, book club, lunch and learns, instructor-led exercise and yoga class, and an essential oil workshop. The attendance in the exercise and Tai Chi classes increased significantly, with 25 more guests participating compared to the same number of sessions held in August. This growth highlights the rising interest in health and wellness activities among our members. Bingo was held 3 times during September. The events were well attended and generated $63 in revenue. After expenses, the monthly profit totaled $27.31. September demonstrated the center's ability to grow both in participation and programming. With 8 new recurring groups, increased attendance in exercise and Tai Chi, and profitable recreational events, the Armada Senior Center is on a strong trajectory heading into the coming months. Continued focus on diverse offerings and community engagement will help maintain this momentum. October and the months ahead are bringing even more fun events, classes, and activities for our members to enjoy. Thank you.
No, that's great.
Thanks.
Well, I'm gonna add in,
It looks so nice up there.
what's that?
It looks so nice.
Getting
Doing a
there.
great job.
Well, I think it's great. I know you kind of chuckled when you said you brought in $63. But I think that and I know everybody understands, but the flip side of that is that you have returning
Right.
citizens, you
Right.
know, elderly that are coming back up there.
Right.
That's the whole point of it.
Right.
I don't think you can put a dollar amount to the fact that you have them recurring every month, and from the sounds of it, I might find something to do on the lunch break, maybe to go up
There you
that, between all the activities.
There's
It's
a
a
lot of
lot,
fun
and I think
things
it's great.
happening.
It really is.
Thank you.
So, thank you again.
Yep.
Under reports also, I'll address Mrs. Fahn's comments. Boo Boo Boneyard has been a long going on thing well before this administration ever got on board. When we got on board, there was several court hearings, but through the whole process, even though they were denied after time, our legal representation made it very clear to shut them down would be a mistake, because at any given point it was overturned, the township would be liable for lawsuits for shutting them down if the appeal was won. Once we got the final thing from Supreme Court, we met down with their attorneys and them, and they came up with, we basically said you have X amount of days to either close down and come back with a new plan. As that date was coming to the end, expiring, we switched legal representation, and our new attorney said, okay, pump the brakes, let's see where we're at, we'll sit and revisit this shortly. And so that's where that's at in the process.
Yes, and I've actually talked with attorneys for the Boo Boo
Yep.
Boneyard, and they've made some substantial progress, and I think we're gonna see some more headway in the next 30 to 45 days, according to their attorney.
As far as closing them down, or as far as them moving out, or you
As
mean?
far as them bringing themselves into compliance.
They're gonna come in compliance with
Yeah.
all 3 zoning ordinances?
That is,
That means they have to pick up and move a barn 60 feet. They can't have the dog runs. That means they're gonna have to fill in their pond. They have the dog runs in the middle of their property. Have you ever been there? Do you know what the
Ma'am,
property looks like?
ma'am, we've been more than happy after the meeting to discuss this, but at this meeting, she's just addressing the issue. But afterwards, I'm more than happy to discuss it.
New attorneys are looking at it.
Chief's report. That was next.
Hello again. Thank you for the opportunity to present the Fire Department Activity Report for September 2025. Last month, the department responded to 83 requests for service, including 62 medical emergencies, 3 motor vehicle accidents, 2 fires, and 3 mutual aid responses to neighboring communities. Additionally, we installed 9 smoke detectors and completed 8 commercial fire inspections. We also hosted our annual open house last Sunday and are happy to report that the weather was great. It was well attended, and families had the opportunity to enjoy food, tour the fire trucks, spray water from a fire hose, watch a vehicle taken apart using the jaws of life, complete an obstacle course, and win raffle prizes, all while learning about fire safety and prevention. I'd like to specifically thank the Chesterfield, New Baltimore, and New Haven fire departments for the use of their newly acquired smoke simulation trailer that provided a realistic and fun way to learn about home hazards, making escape plans, and dealing with cooking fires. It was very generous of them to let us use that. On another note, I'd like to congratulate firefighter paramedic Katie Lasowski on her acceptance into Class 88 of the Michigan State Police Fire Investigator School. Katie already holds a fire inspector certification that encompasses fire prevention and building inspections, as well as code compliance. But the investigator designation focuses on determining fire origin and cause, as well as conducting arson investigations, evidence collection, and courtroom testimony. The only thing more difficult than completing this program is actually being accepted into it. MSP has a limited number of spots each year, and competition is fierce to be chosen, so we are especially proud to have Katie represent the Armada Fire department and look forward to the skills she will bring to our great community. Next, speaking of our community, I'm saddened to announce the passing of longtime resident Esther English. Before her death, Mrs. English saw fit to generously donate $5,000 to the Armada Fire Department to aid in protecting our residents' lives and property. We mention this as we remember a kind and generous woman who spent her entire life in Armada, touching the lives of all who knew her. Her warmth, selflessness, and enduring spirit will be deeply missed, but her legacy of kindness will live on in the community she loved as we put her donation to good use, supporting our mission of protecting those she held so dear. Finally, I'd like to conclude tonight's report on a high note by congratulating, again, Lieutenant Colin Minnie, this time on completing Eastern Michigan University's Staff and Command Executive Leadership Program as of today. I had the privilege of sitting in on his keynote presentation this afternoon that was the culmination of 8 months of work and countless hours of research. The program director and several instructors have let me know what a great addition he was to the class, and each of them emphasized how lucky we are to have Colin amongst our ranks. I couldn't agree more and would like to thank Colin for his hard work and congratulate him on this career milestone. Well done, Colin.
I just want to say thank you to all of you for giving me the opportunity to attend this class over the last 9 months. Learned a lot. Pretty challenging, but I like to challenge myself and look forward to applying everything I learned for the rest of my career here. So again, thank you.
We're happy to have
Thank
you.
you.
Do a great job. Thanks, Colin.
This concludes the fire department report for this session. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chief.
I'll make a motion to receive and file reports.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Correspondence information. Our audit report.
I'm a lot more boring than the fire department, that's for sure. Well, it's good to be here, kind of on a reunion tour here. I was here about 10 years ago, and I can say that this audit went a lot better than the last time I was here. So you guys, we really appreciate the help that we received from the clerk and the treasurer and the departments that we worked with. You guys were great to work with. It's always difficult to transition from one auditor to the next. There's always, it's kind of like different cooks and how they create a meal, right? So it takes a little bit extra work on your part and our part to get to know each other again and how it works. But you guys did a great job, and we're appreciative of that. So we're thankful for that. I will also say 10 years ago there wasn't kind of an internal bookkeeping help, and that seems to be a really good thing for the township. And so we appreciated the help that we received from that as well. I gave you a sheet of paper there. It kind of boils the 40 pages of the audit report down into one sheet of paper. I'm more than happy to talk about any questions you have that are in the audit report itself. But if you guys want to pull that sheet out, we've found that it's helpful to present less information. So what it is, the top half is the general fund, and the bottom part is the emergency services fund. You've got 3 columns there. You've got 23, 24, and 25. We audited year 25. So the last 2 columns there, we didn't audit those. We pulled some information out of the prior audit reports. So as we move forward, we'll have better information and better comparisons, but we wanted to pull something there so we could kind of see trends. So we're going to focus on the left column. That's the 2025 year end that we did. Your fund balance in the general fund is $1.2 million, just short of $1.3 million. The revenues there for the general fund, you've got property taxes of $243,000, intergovernmental revenues, this would be stuff, money from the state of Michigan, $389,000, charges for services, $103,000. A little bit of rent revenue there, $1,400. Grant proceeds, $12,000. Interest earnings, $53,000, and then other revenue of $72,000. All totaled, it was $875,000. That's what the general fund brought in as revenue. Your expenditures are broke down between general government, which had $402,000, public safety, $139,000, public works, $187,000. Recreation and culture, 70,000. Capital outlay, 273,000. That 273,000 is made up of about 240,000 that we put into renovation to the senior center, 5,000 for an election tabulator, and $25,000 for brickwork on the hall. So the total expenditures for the year were $1,073,000. They exceeded their revenues by $198,000, and so our fund balance went from $1.4 million to $1.2 million. So oftentimes I get the question, what is a healthy fund balance? Everybody wants to know. In fact, everybody just really wants to see, are we okay? If I answer that question, then they can, all these other numbers that I really enjoy, you guys, you don't have to have all of that. But a healthy fund balance, according to the state of Michigan MTA, would be if you have 25% of your annual revenue, that's considered a healthy fund balance. Now, the fact that your year starts April 1st, you've collected all of your tax money for the year, and you won't collect it again until the end of the year. So we would say 25% of your revenue plus an annual amount of property taxes. So if we look at the numbers here, your property taxes were $245,000. Your total revenues were about $900,000. So if we said if your fund balance was about $500,000 minimum, that would be a healthy fund balance. So at $1.2 million, you're more than healthy there. So we would say that you have a healthy fund balance as a general fund. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Any questions about that section?
So just to put it in layman's terms, it's safe to say the fund balance is literally the savings account.
Yeah, the fund balance is the accumulation of money that you had over time that you have available to spend in your next year. So short answer, yes, it's your savings account. That's the money we're bringing in to the next year to be able to be spent. Now, if we spend it all, then we wouldn't have it to go to the following year. That's your savings account.
Gotcha.
Correct. Any other questions?
Well, being that the auditor's new to the township, you may not have the answer to this, but why do the property taxes, why do they fluctuate so much? Why do they go down?
Yeah, it's a good question. Actually, I was doing some work on that before I came, and I don't have a good answer for you other than I'm wondering if the prior auditor added in, let's say like the admin fee. They may have, we may split that admin fee out. They may add that in there, which would be enough to make that look like it's down. Your property taxes are not going down. Okay. We're in an inflationary market. The market's still driving up. As people move out, the property taxes are going up. As properties transition. So I can confidently say that your property taxes didn't go down. I believe it's a reporting issue of what the prior auditor added into it. Is that fair?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Any other questions?
No, I just wanted to thank you for your patience and understanding, like this is all new, and so thank you.
Yeah, you're
for
welcome.
That audit. It was very good.
Thanks. Let's talk just real quick on the bottom half there. So that the bottom half is your emergency services fund. You have a fund balance of $1.6 million. Property taxes there are $1.9 million. Charges for services $323,000. Grant proceeds $361,000. Interest $25,000. And other revenue of $68,000. So we have a total revenue of $2.6 million. Public safety there, the total cost for the year was $1.9 million, or just short of $2 million. Capital outlay is $71,000. That's made up of some capitalized repairs of $14,000, and then we purchased some equipment and gear of about $57,000. We also have debt service. We paid a lot down on the Braun ambulance, and so we paid like 6 years worth of payments on that, so our debt's significantly less. But here it's reported as an expenditure, so that's why it looks like it's more than the previous year. That was $220,000, $230,000 with the interest. So total expenditures were $2.28 million for the emergency services fund. So our revenue exceeded our expenditures by $396,000. As you know, it doesn't take much to spend that money on new equipment. And if you look back in the past, you'll see years where you've spent more money on capital outlay there. So to have extra money there, I don't see that as a problem at all. You live and die by the millage there. Mm-hmm. And so you basically have enough there to get through a year if the millage were not to pass at some point. So one other note that I will say, well, any questions on that before I say the last thing?
No.
I have one if it's okay, if it's appropriate.
It's up to you guys.
I'm just curious similar to the year before, if it looks like it's fairly consistent, or if there may be some, grants or something that made that year look a little different.
Yeah, I don't see this as an outlier, that it's an extra special year that we need to be concerned going forward. Is that your question? The township is healthy financially. Yeah. Yeah, the township is healthy. Typically, townships, we work with about 80 municipalities, 90 municipalities. Townships generally are pretty healthy. The ones that struggle are the villages and the cities. The villages and cities have to deal with the major and local streets. They have to deal with the infrastructure of water and sewer. Those are the ones that are really in trouble in Michigan. And I'm not saying the village of Armada, I don't do their audit, so I can't say specifically there. But across Michigan, townships generally are pretty healthy financially. Any other questions on that?
No.
One other thing that maybe it was a good segue into it, and that is the pension that you provide for the
Fire.
emergency services. You have an actual positive balance when you take into account of all the future promises that you've made and the potential costs for that. Most municipalities have a liability. I'm trying to quantify this, or put it in layman's terms. It's not unusual to see that you have an upside down fund of $1 million, $5 million, and for you guys to have an actual, basically, it's like a $43,000 net asset. That speaks very well of your township. There were a lot of promises made in the labor world in the 70s, 80s, and 90s that are coming due now for these municipalities, and it's a scary thing. And so to see you guys have a healthy pension fund balance there is really good for your community.
Good.
So that's what I had for you guys. Any questions for me?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out, Ryan. Thank you.
Next is Robinson Investments.
Okay, so I did talk with the auditor, and we have an investment under water and sewer, and water and sewer has been off the table for a while. So just to change the name of that, so going forward, when I do the treasurer's report, the new title will be infrastructure, because we will be having some bridges and things that we need to work on. So in the future, it'll be infrastructure. So when we have any money that's left over at the end of the year, we put it, the goal is to have a balance, money left over, that we can earmark into certain areas that we know are gonna be coming up in the future, so that's why we're doing that.
Thanks for the heads up.
Any questions? Okay, under 9, unfinished business, zoning ordinance text minutes.
Actually, I'd like to make a motion to postpone that until our next regular meeting on November 12th for review by legal counsel. Since they've just started, they haven't had a chance to go through everything, so I think we need to give them a bit more time.
Support. Questions?
Yep, you're good with that?
I'm good with that. I have
Perfect.
reviewed it, and I look forward to speaking with whomever as to
Okay.
any questions you may have.
Good. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Armada Township Skate Park Memorial for Travis Cole. What's up? Everybody else can come up with her.
There's one
No,
right,
you're
there's
good.
one right
You don't
here
need to.
too,
You're
the
good.
other one.
That's just public comments.
So, I guess I'll start by saying thank you for talking to us. We are here today to present you with a memorial concept for Travis. I mean, I don't even really know how to start it, but at the same time, I can say on September 11th, he was in my garage working on bikes. I can tell you he was also in his buddy Collins, who's not here tonight, his garage working on same thing. And then went over to Tristan and Luke's. He was always very adventurous. He was a friend to everyone. If I can say anything about Travis, I'd say he was like a peacemaker in a sense. If you've seen his funeral and all the guys that rode, you had 40 kids I counted 40 bikes. I'll tell you flat out that all 40 of those kids are not friends. Those kids, there's like groups. And on that day, they brought all heart. Not one smart comment, not one disrespect. They were straight there for Travis. He was a very good kid. He loved to bike, and when the kids started forming at the spot on Center Road, it's a very bad spot. You can see there's a lot of bike parts, if you've ever drove past it there. Flowers, beautiful. Pictures. We were just there the other night to put fresh silk flowers because he deserves it. Even Minecraft toys. There's Minecraft toys. Somebody probably played Minecraft with him at one point. Notes. It's a bad spot. And that was originally when my son said, and they kept going, and I said, it's a bad spot. He said, we're going to get a weed whip. We're going to clean it up over there. Maybe we'll get a bench. I said, no. That's not that spot is for you to drive by and be like, you know, that's what, I go, if you want to do something like that, we need to go to the city. So here we are. When the boys started talking about it and different things, and like I said, there's bike parts there. So you got rims there. You got handlebars there. You got riding goggles there. You got, you name it. If it wasn't just a bicycle that Travis liked, he liked dirt bikes. He liked anything with, that he could ride on. He's a very adventurous boy. Even over the summer, Stony Creek mountain bike trails, loved it, the adventure to it. He pushed himself all the time and he enjoyed it. He had a unique BMX bike. He traded it for that mountain bike that was crushed in that accident. He traded it for that mountain bike so that he would have better gears to go faster for when he was getting around. Was he planning on getting his license this year? He was going to be 17 on the 4th of November, so in a month, basically, just under. But he didn't get to that point. At the end of the day, this concept is basically where he did always love to be at the skate park. If these boys can get this put here, at the end of the day, that gives a safe place for them to all congregate. Whether it's one group or another, if it's a love letter, if it's just a I miss you letter, if it's just a picture, if you just want to sit there and think about him, in a sense, like I said, that bike was unique. I can't tell you how many other of these boys were like, let me get that white seat. You can't find white seats. He always wanted the white wall tires. Travis loved white wall tires. My son got a pair. That's a long story at Albies, but regardless, Travis was like, let me get them white walls. Like, it's just something that these boys did, and I think it would be great to have it be at this safe place. I have talked to 2 fabrication companies. We're dealing with Wyatt's Performance in town to powder coating and some special critiquing of the bike. He is more known for his custom builds, per se. The tires will be metal. The seat will be metal. The grips will be metal. Nothing on it will be like where it will break down over time, per se. The powder coating, and I didn't know anything about powder coating until this, but I guess they heat the metal to like 450 degrees. First they're gonna strip the paint 100%, bake it at 450 degrees, and then the powder coating goes on at that hot temperature to sear it to the metal, to seal it. Everything will be welded solid. So in the concept, if you've seen the package that I presented, this here is a bar. This underneath this bike. This will be your main weld here off of this peg. At the end of the day, that's because Travis loved to grind. Grinding is where they float across that bar like you wouldn't believe. And at the end there, he was trying to lift that front end to get that wheelie in too. If you've heard around town people say he's the wheelie king. He could hold a wheelie for a really long time, whether it was gas, whether it was a bicycle, you name it. He was very well balanced. Anyway, this would be his bike replicated. as close as we can get it, on that bar, and with just a beautiful sense of everybody knows that's Travis. Both companies, both fabrication, have offered their services for free for Travis. We also have the concrete that it's gonna go on 4x4. The dimensions are all in there. Mike from Metropolitan Concrete will be doing the concrete on it. Once again, Metropolitan Concrete has donated the concrete and anything that needs to go with it.
Wow. Beautiful.
We had talked about possibly getting this done and in, if you guys approve, on Travis's birthday, which would have been his 17th birthday. It will be November 4th, which is an election day for, I don't know if we have anything special going on here, but kids do not have school on that day. I looked it up. Normally we do have school on election days, but this one we don't. Both fabricators say they don't think it's gonna be an issue. They think that as, everything's gonna run smooth and they'll be able to get it done. I thought, what better way to honor him than on his birthday? If you approve it, at the end of the day, I've talked to one of the girls that is head of marketing for Blake's Cider Mill. They are offering refreshment for this party. I've talked to Tiffany at Vinkner's, and she said as well she would be more than happy to contribute something to this party if it goes through. We have very little that we have to do other than that. The plaque I will be getting outside of Armada. Everything is done inside our town. Everything except for the plaque. We don't have an engraver local. So with that being said, and then the bike, the boys have been working on parts and putting a bike together. It has been an interesting task. And I didn't know this, but I found out the hard way that the bikes are built like cars. I can't take a Ford part and put it on a Chevy. I can't take a Honda part and put it on, a Subaru. So these bikes are lining up the same way, and all these boys and more than what is here right now have been, I got this part, I have this part, let's put this part. And because fabrication is gonna strip it down and do what they need to do. So I ended up having to buy a bike because we needed certain parts that weren't gonna be here for like weeks from California, and they were very expensive, brand new. I said by this time I could just buy one off Marketplace for $100 and be done with it and have it done. So we have all that. All we need is your guys' yes, and that bike goes straight to fabrication. And they can get started. Andrew is out of town. Wyatt's Performance, the owner, Andrew, he is out of town right now, delivering a project that he had just finished. But True Tech, David Sutton is here. I was on the phone with him yesterday, and he said basically, he's like, we're just waiting for you guys to say yes. So, I appreciate you guys taking the time to think about it, but and listen to us. But I think honestly, at the end of the day, the boys need this, and the girls. I mean, the girls too. But the boys are a little different. They're wanting. I'm noticing like they're wanting to say, "Oh, I want this for him, and I want him to have this, and I want him to have the best, and I want." That's how they want to. They want to honor him. So.
Well, I'd like
Is
to
there a
make a
motion?
motion to approve that this memorial be placed at the Armada Skate Park in recognition of Travis Cole's life and lasting impact on our community.
Support.
Second that. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yep. I just really wanted to thank all of you, you young people. This is amazing. And all of you, the parents, just thank you so much for doing this.
I just want to make a couple quick points. In the heat of emotions, the kids got really excited and expressed their artistic quality maybe a little too far with some spray paint. But I do want to thank this group
Yes.
here, came
Yeah.
on their own time with moms and kids and busted their butts for hours. And I think Gary could admit it looks better than it did before. And they put their heart and soul into
Thank you,
cleaning
Kat.
up because out of respect. And I can't tell
Yeah.
you from the township how much we appreciate that. In regards to cement, one thing that's important to note is we're also going to raise a little bit. So for cutting the grass and weed whack, it's not going to be an issue. And I personally have to say, I want to thank Melissa so much. She put her heart and soul into this,
Yeah.
crossed every T, dotted every I, and I can't thank you enough for honoring them.
Yeah, this
For
was
Travis.
beautiful.
For Travis. And I just wanna say too, the spray paint thing, it started out as chalk, but somehow Amazon got involved, I
Things
think,
happen.
and something happened.
Things happen.
Never
So,
happened.
but,
You guys took care of it,
So
and I
we'll-
just love that you guys are doing this all on your own. You know, with the support, but that you guys are doing it, running with it, and you've agreed to maintain it. That is amazing. So,
it's for
thank you.
Travis.
So
He
we-
deserves it.
I just wanna make sure somebody from the township will approve the actual location. I know it's
Yes,
shown on here.
yes.
Okay.
We'll be there on site the day they do it and make sure.
Perfect.
We walked it, found a good spot. I spoke with Gary about it and showed him the spot, and he seemed to be good with it too.
Okay. Yeah, appreciate it.
I, again, want to applaud. I think it's great that the way the community comes together, it's what makes Armada, I think, probably one of the best northern communities out there. I'm only expressing or just asking, and I know, I have no concerns about what Andrew's gonna do with fabricating. Is there any, maybe down the road, we can look at, maybe somehow, like I know the Jason Freewald Memorial has a little bit more of like a surrounding protection to it, because we know kids will be kids.
Yes.
And wanting to
If that can
Climb.
hold up.
climb, hang, and I'm not worried about it breaking and stuff,
Ride.
but there still is a seat, there still is
Yes.
handlebars, there still are pedals that, yes, they're not moving, but this kids, or even taller ones that like to, you know,
Yes.
do something, that this is, then it's, you know, impeding and, you know, essentially going on a memorial. But I still think as a township, if maybe we can look at something just to protect ourselves so that we don't, the township doesn't have an issue down the road with somebody
Yes.
getting hurt,
Yes.
you know, or doing something. Doesn't mean they still can't climb on the free wall, but there still is still some type of a, you know, something
Extra.
just to deter a little bit.
I don't have a problem with, maybe even, I don't know if you wanted, like, maybe even just mulch, like a boxed in mulch around the concrete. If you wanted, I could even throw, you know, a couple of perennials that come back that would set it off on each side as well. I'm a gardener, so
I don't
don't
know if
even
we'd
get
want
me
that.
started on that.
There's, and I know that there's no guarantee ever to keep
I know.
somebody, if they decide they wanna go
And if mom's
vandalize and
not
do what
paying
they do, or they
attention,
fall and get
or
hurt,
they're
yeah,
young,
we
yes.
can't control, but it just wanted to throw it out there that this shouldn't be held up from doing what you want to do now, but I still think we should probably somewhere look at something to see how it does, or if it doesn't go anywhere and we don't have any issues, then we'd leave it alone. But if something does, we should, still is then on the township property, that we don't want to have some other liability.
No,
That's all.
definitely. We did talk about putting a do not climb.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, Andrew brought it up where he said that instead of, because I said, well, you put a separate sign, you cement a separate sign, and it kind of takes away the
Sure.
luster of it. And Andrew had a great idea. He said, why don't we we'll weld it right to the bar, and we'll have a metal sign right here, right in the front, that says do not climb.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
good.
So that will be added to it. You know, at the end of the day,
Right.
like I say, if you guys want something a little bit more around it, I don't have a problem with making it happen. However you wanna do it. The one thing that, and I will say, regardless of whether or not this, you know, goes in or whatever, I don't know if you fully, like I heard someone say, issues you prove, but, has any of you ever been there at night? When it gets dark? That skate park area is pitch black. When I was there to clean with the kids, one kid had to wait because his mom was running behind. She got stuck behind some farming equipment. She was running about 15 minutes behind. Everybody else had left. Jace was still there. I said, I'm not leaving you. He goes, you're not gonna leave? And I said, no. I said, come over here by my car. We'll wait for your mom. And he said, okay. And he was on the phone with her. He says, yeah, Nick's mom's gonna wait for me, Mom. I'm fine. And I said, I couldn't believe, I mean, you could see the fire department was lit up beautifully. You get those trees that divide the fire department and the skate park area, and it's pitch black.
Well, the park
That
closes, I think.
sidewalk that comes up from Center Road, pitch black. Then when you start getting to the parking lot towards all the ball diamonds, it's lit up, right? Beautiful. regardless, whatever you decide to do as a safety issue, that might be something that I know when if you do.
I can speak to that. The park is actually only open till 10 o'clock.
Exactly.
They didn't want to light the skate park because they didn't want kids there all night.
I believe that.
And they leave the parking lot lit, for the restrooms and everything. That was a concern at the time.
I believe
If you
that.
put lights up, how late do you run the lights?
Right. I know it does say it on the signs too, but that's the same thing as like you can put a do not climb, but that doesn't mean they're not gonna climb.
Right.
It does say dusk or dawn to dusk, right? So, but, I mean, I'm just saying, like, when I was there, that's just, it's a very dark corner. I just noticed that, it's extremely
So
dark.
are you suggesting we should put lights in?
Well, I mean, I mean, even just one out that walkway there. If you're talking about safety or security, is
Well,
what I'm
somebody-
getting.
There are
we
lights at the
certainly
bathroom.
can consider that.
Yep.
You
We
know,
didn't want to light up the whole skate park.
No.
Because we don't want kids there all
Not
night.
even-
But to have a security light here and there down the sidewalk is
That-
certainly something we can talk about.
that's what I was, like, right where the woods come, where you know, because it's literally all
Yeah,
wood
no, I
and
agree.
fire department here. Like, that's, that area there, because we talked about that memorial going in here. Sorry, my back's to you guys, that's kind of rude, but, like, if there, I think there's a pole right there as well. We just,
I know, I
if we put a light on that, because that would really, I mean, it's just an eerie corner. I'm just,
And we do have, I spoke to our person who does the camera system.
Uh-huh.
And we're talking about putting cameras over there too, so, we'll talk about cameras and we'll talk about some lighting too, that's a good idea. Let me look into that.
okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Motion? Got the
Doug
motion
made
approved?
a motion,
Make
got a second?
motion.
All in favor?
Nichol?
Aye.
I'll just take a
Roll
roll
call.
call.
Good.
Nichol?
Yes.
Sweikes, Joe?
Yep.
Getzinger?
Yes,
Kashi?
Yes. All set?
that's approved. too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you
Travis,
guys.
thanks you, this
Thank
will
you
be
all.
great. Have a good night.
Thank you, you too. You're welcome.
Chief? Chief? Next on the agenda is MSP Investigation School for firefighter Laskowski.
We almost need to get you just a chair up here.
I'm telling you, I'm monopolizing your meeting tonight.
But you look so nice.
Well, thank you, thank you. As I had mentioned during the comments, Katie got accepted to the MSP Fire Investigator School. As part of that, we would be responsible for her housing for 2 weeks. It's through MSP, it's click on their website and, you know, you're basically taken to it. We would be on the hook for $597.80 per week. So it's a 2-week program. So what I'm looking is approval for $1,195.60 from the training account. That has a current balance of a little bit over $18,000 right now. That account was set up just for this type of purpose. If we send people to trainings, then we want to make sure that that's funded and we can cover any expenses. So I'm looking for approval for that.
I'll
I will,
make-
go ahead.
I'll make a motion to authorize clerk on behalf of Armada Township to use funds from 206-336-830-000 trading account to cover anticipated housing costs of $1,195.60 for 2 weeks for firefighter Katie Laskowski to attend MSP Fire Investigation School from October 12th through the 17th and October 19th through the 24th, 2025.
I will second that.
How does it, can you explain the difference between, in terms of investigating and say what Fire Marshal Canal?
Currently, she's an inspector.
Okay,
Fire Marshal Canal has these credentials also.
okay,
And it's basically your inspectors do that, they inspect. So it's more pre-incident where they will check for exit signs, fire extinguishers, code compliance, things like that. The fire investigator is an after the fact. So they come in and actually investigate whatever the incident was. So that's basically the difference.
Okay.
You know, one of them is beforehand, the other is afterwards. But there's so much that goes into it as far as arson investigation, and like I said, they do simulated courtrooms where they get comfortable with testifying. It's a great program. It's been around for quite a while. Like I said, this is the 88th time that they're running it. And she applied and we pulled every string we could and
Sure.
she got accepted to it.
No, that's
So,
great. Is that also a building, stepping stone to be able to, if she decided to go for, fire marshal? You know, is that part
Oh,
of
absolutely.
something you need criteria?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I don't think Kevin's going anywhere for quite a while, but like Colin with staff and command, I'm a huge proponent of education, so the more that they can learn, the better they do their job, and I'm completely behind her in doing this.
Sure.
Nichol?
Yes.
Swack, yes. Joe?
Yes.
Getzinger?
Yes.
Cratchit?
Yes. Fire department physicals.
Yep. The next part, if you recall from last year, we went through a similar discussion. Firefighter physicals are part of the contractual obligations. So for this year, we put bids out again. We had 3 healthcare providers that responded to us. It was BioCare, Henry Ford, and Pro Health Services. We sent them a list of the requirements that we're looking for in the physicals, and then beginning last year, we had an addendum. Last year, we had a focus on heart health. So part of the requirement for bid was to be able to do calcium screening, where they actually get put, it looks like almost like an MRI machine, but it goes in and it scans all the blood vessels, looks for blockages. So the idea is we're focusing on some of the major health hazards for firefighters, which 2 of the 3 top are cardiac issues and then cancer. So this year, we wanted to focus on cancer screening. So we allowed each of these individual healthcare providers to give us what they offered and explain to us why they felt that it was more beneficial than the other. So the 3 came back. BioCare had total for on-site physicals for 13 firefighters, $12,805. Henry Ford came back at $12,405, and Pro Health Services came back at $18,774. Really what took them out of the running is their transportation and setup of the mobile health unit, which that was almost $8,000 alone, just to have the truck come out. So really that put us down to 2, the BioCare and the Henry Ford, and they were really within $400 of one another. When we discussed their cancer screening, BioCare takes, I don't want to say an after the fact approach, but they offered ultrasounds, which says we will do full body ultrasounds and we will look for tumors or abnormal growths and then go from there. What we liked about Henry Ford is they have a proprietary test that I included that in the packet. It's called a Gallery test. It's a blood screening that actually looks for DNA markers in the bloodstream of cancer cells. So it's well beyond when a tumor starts to form. We discussed that with them. It goes along with the rest of the blood work. So we were impressed with that, and the idea is if we can find something 2 or 3 years before it manifests itself into a tumor, then we're going to be able to get that individual firefighter treated, and we're going to reduce lost time and kind of long-term injuries. So the fact that they both had pretty close bids will really push Henry Ford over, not only that they were the low bid by $400, but that they do offer this proprietary Gallery testing. So each year in the budget, we set aside a fairly good chunk of money for physicals. Currently, we have a little over $15,000 set in that account. So I'm looking for the board's permission to go ahead and award Henry Ford the contract for physicals for 2025 for the amount of $12,405.
I will go ahead and make that motion.
I was gonna say, that was almost like a motion
Yep.
right there.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yep, I'll second.
Any questions?
Nope. Well, I
Thank you
appreciate
for
it. Your
doing your homework.
firefighters, thank you.
This was
And
good.
if you don't have any questions,
Roll call vote?
stop monopolizing.
Yes.
Swack, yes. Joe?
Yes.
Getzinger?
Yes.
Cratchit?
Yes.
No, I'm glad you got something with the screening like that to be able to
Oh,
try to.
Yeah, no, that was huge. The cardiac screening that we had last year, everybody's came back good, but there were a couple of numbers that, some of us had 0s, some of us had 1s, some of us had 10s, and they kind of made some lifestyle changes from
Sure.
that. So
Good.
it's super important to catch any of these early, so they do have a long career here.
Yep.
So
Thank
Thank you again.
Thanks, Chief.
Good, thank you.
Next is reallocation of community credits funds.
Yep, came to my attention that we have to reallocate our SMART funds for 2026 if we want Richmond Lennox to continue to do door-to-door service for our Armada residences. If we don't give them any money, they're gonna discontinue the service. Chris and I intend to talk to Jeff about a few issues that we have, but in the meantime, the contract is for $3,401 in municipal credits, $11,412 in community credits, totaling $14,813 for fiscal year 2026. My reallocations are suggested as follows: transfer direct Richmond Lennox 1,000 for municipal credits, also municipal credits for the seniors 2,401 for a total of $3,401 in municipal credits. Community credits, Pale 7,406, and Armada seniors $4,006 for a total of community credits $11,412. So I'll make the motion to approve the fiscal year 2026 SMART reallocations as presented.
I'll second.
Any questions?
So that's keeping it forward this year,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
One thing I did want to state that we based our decisions on who actually requested for money, and Richmond Lennox did not put that request in this year, and that's why, it wasn't included.
So there's no issues with, I don't know how that money actually comes in. There's no issues changing that? Do you have to report that to the county or?
No, it doesn't go to the county. What we do is we pay for the buses, and then we get reimbursed through SMART. They send us a check back.
Okay.
That's how that works.
So will we be getting a report from Jeff White, Richmond Lennox?
Actually, I got one for August,
Okay,
and I emailed Jeff that I'd like to have a report back that separated Armada Township and the village.
yes.
On their report, it doesn't separate that. It does,
Okay.
however, separate, like Richmond Township and the city of Richmond. He
Okay.
never answered me. I'd like to know how many participants
Right.
there are. In August, there were 48, just said Armada, but I don't know who's using it.
Okay, yeah,
So right
So
now,
that
the
would be-
village gives all of their funds to
to Richmond
Richmond
Lennox.
Lennox.
I think it's a fair request for next year. We're doing this now, but I think that's a fair request
Right.
for next year moving forward, that's one of our requirements that we would like
And-
to have that
Yes,
attached.
and he needs to
He should be
request
present.
it.
To be
And
separated.
request it, yes.
Yeah, so
To be separated, but he also needs to be here
But
to
a request
request
it.
it.
Yeah.
Right, right.
I think that obviously SMART is very important for our residents, and we live in a community that doesn't have other transportation, so I think this is important. Richmond Lennox is our local provider, but you had already stated you're going to contact SMART to make sure we understand how that service works and so that we don't get into a situation where we don't have the service provider.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Would that be appropriate to amend your motion, to add those items to it? Or
We could just make
do
sure
we
that's
not need
there.
to?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I'll
fine.
make sure.
Any other questions?
No.
Roll call.
Nichol?
Yes.
Swack, yes. Joe?
Yes,
Getzinger?
Yes.
Crunchy?
Yes.
And I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution 2025-06 as presented to purchase community transit services from Richmond Lennox with smart municipal credits and community credits.
I'll second.
Questions?
Nichol?
Yes.
Swack, yes. Joe?
Yes,
Getzinger?
Yes.
Crunchy, yes.
Yes. Okay.
That's it.
Move on to public comments. Each person will be given 2 minutes to speak. Any public comments? Any public comments? Okay, move on to board comments. Trustee Nichol.
The only thing I'd like to say is just, council, just want to thank you again for, being here. There's been a lot going on, and, you and Tim both have really stepped up to get brought up to speed as much as possible, and I think you've shed some different light for us, and just want to thank you guys.
Thank you for entrusting us.
Trustee Getzinger.
Just specific to the resident concerned about Boo Boo's Boneyard, I do understand our previous council's opinion on how we had to be careful, but it is my opinion currently that it's very clear, and our stance at the time it was clear, and I do think it's important we expedite, resolving this, or moving in the direction that we currently as a board have, directed the township to proceed. So that's it. Thank you.
Treasurer Joe.
yes. Summer taxes were due on September 15th, so if you have not paid your summer taxes, please pay them. You are accruing a 1% interest penalty each month, so.
I feel like you keep talking about taxes are due.
I
On
know.
a, like, monthly basis, it seems like.
No, I
that we're
hate
paying.
that.
Clerk's wacky.
Nothing.
Just two quick things. I want to thank Melissa and the group, the community coming together to show her respect for Travis. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And lastly, just want to congratulate the fire department. You know, we're out in the
Yeah.
northern Macomb County, and I don't think people really understand the incredible fire department we have. It is unbelievable. And that's it. Motion to close.
Motion close at 8:06.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?